Hello everyone, September 12th, 2022. It's Geo-Rant number 180. Someone asked me to address this, so I'm going to real quick. Someone asked me, well, Steve, what exactly is a granite? We'll just rephrase it that way because it's actually a much lengthier question. They got confused and, they got confused because they were trying to figure out geologist talk. Well, granite is used by different geologists to kind of encompass different things. In general, we all view a granite as a sort of phaneritic, which is coarse-grained, or I shouldn't say grained, coarse crystalline igneous rock, a plutonic rock. That is a very generic term. That is not exactly what a granite is. That should actually be applied to the definition of granitoid. We should use that word. When we're talking about such vague things like that. But, as geologists, we're still people and we're not all experts in everything in geology. Now, I study different types of phaneritic crystalline rocks. So I use what's called the Qapf diagram, or Strickson plot, whatever you want to call it, to identify these things, to plot them. It's basically, if you haven't seen it before, it's a ternary diagram with three things you have to plot: quartz, K-spar, and plagioclase. And there's a bottom half because that includes voids instead of quartz, because if you can't have voids and quartz occurring in the same rock. But most people and geologists don't get that deep into it. So a lot of times you'll hear, say, somebody who studies paleontology or kind of more modern sediments or sedimentary rock in general, say granite when they actually mean granitoid. Granites are a very specific part of the ternary diagram. But people will use that term, and if you plot the ratios of quartz feldspars or quartz K-spars and plagioclase, you could come out with a tonalite or a granodiorite or a syenite or a monzodiorite, monzo granite, something like that. Or even, a nepheline syenite, something like that. So just remember, when you hear even a geologist say granite in a generic lay speak, they should be saying granitoid, but I mess it up. And I'll also say granitic a lot, but that's more used for texture, not really general rock type. But, I'm human too, and sometimes for brevity purposes, I'll say granite or granitic when I mean granitoid. But just be aware that granites do follow a specific plot. And this comes key when studying Precambrian rocks. See, most geologists don't study Precambrian, especially deep Precambrian, like Archean rocks. So they just say, oh, it's a granite, whatever, when they mean granitoid, because to them it's not really applicable. But you go into the deep past, and what we have are TTGs. One of the T's stands for tonalite. Another one is, and the G is granodiorite. The other T, trajmite. So I forget how to pronounce it, but it's a special type of tonalite. That's relevant to make that distinction, and that distinction is always important when studying Archean rocks, especially. Why? Because we don't have a lot of true granites from back then. It's mostly dominated by tonalites, most phaneritic plutonic rocks. We still don't know why exactly that is. There could be many, many different reasons. Probably has something to do with the fact that modern plate tectonics wasn't in full operation, or even maybe not even in operation at all then. So it's probably something like that. We do still get tonalites today, but usually in island arc settings. Pretty much after the Archean, they all but disappear, except in those type of settings. There are other exceptions, but we went from a tonalite dominated plutonic setting in the Archean, possibly even the Hadean. We don't know because we don't have any confirmed Hadean plutons, but we go from a tonalite dominated plutonic rocks on the planet to granites and cyanites. So yeah, there is a point to making these distinctions depending on what you study, who you are in general, and things like that. Anyway, this is coming up on 5:15, so I'll cut it off here. Leave any questions or comments below.